Okay, I'm gonna show you how to make Jim's favorite chicken, the rosemary chicken that you like. You're gonna want to have a whole chicken, and this one's packaged a little bit different just because it's the pandemic and Costco is selling them kind of laid out on this plastic tray. A lot of them will be in frozen bags and have a neck in the inside of them. So you're gonna wanna get a whole chicken like this. It looks like, see if I can hold it up. Looks like that. This one is tied. I'm gonna untie it. We don't need that. And I'm gonna see if there is a neck in it because, nope, they've even cleaned out. So if you get a frozen one, you're gonna want to reach in, when it's thawed out, reach in and inside you'll have a neck and clean out all the things that are inside there, including the neck, and throw it away. Some people cook and do other things with it, not me. I'm bare basics here. So undo the chicken, get it ready to go. I'm gonna rinse my hands real fast. Just gotta keep the process going, but you're gonna wanna have your olive oil, coarse black pepper, salt, garlic. You can use fresh garlic or the mince that comes like this. I like it. And then a little bit of wine, or if you have an old bottle, like half a cup of wine, I think is what this works out to be, you can add that too. So first things first, you're gonna put a tablespoon of olive oil in the bottom of your roasting pan, just to help keep the chicken from sticking. And then you're gonna do 2 tablespoons in a small cup or jar to mix the paste that you're gonna put on the chicken. So 2 tablespoons of oil in there. And then you're gonna wanna do, my hands are slippery, 1 tablespoon. I gotta look for another tablespoon. Thought I got 2 out, maybe not. Hold on a second, I gotta get another tablespoon because I don't want to use the oil one. So a tablespoon from our dry. I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of the coarse black pepper and the paste that we're making to go on the chicken. And it's coarse black pepper, so 1 tablespoon. This seems like a lot. And then 1 teaspoon of salt, any kind of salt. I'm gonna do it over the sink, so 1 teaspoon of salt. So I have my 2 tablespoons of virgin olive oil in here, pepper and salt. I'm gonna stir that around. And then I'm also gonna add 3 garlic cloves. You can use fresh garlic if you want to, or you can just do 3 half teaspoons of garlic. So I'm gonna lean over and do this here so I don't get it everywhere. 1. And that's a whole, so I'm not actually gonna do it all the way. Too much won't hurt it. It's garlic, right? You can never have enough garlic. So I'm gonna mix that in there so that I've got the pepper, the salt, the garlic, and your oil all mixed in there together. And then I'm gonna take the chicken, and you want it breast side up. So like this is the back part of the chicken, and this is the breast side up, and that's how you wanna cook it, with your breast side up. But lay it down right in your oil circle, that 1 tablespoon of oil that you already put down in the pan, and then start to take your mix, your paste, whatever you wanna call it, and rub it all over the chicken. And I like to reach in there and rub it in the cavity a little bit, just to give it a little bit of extra flavor in the cavity so that it's covered. You're gonna think this thing would be extra peppery, but it's not. It seems to cook down a little bit when it's done. So that's that. I don't wanna touch anything because I've had raw chicken on my hands, so I was trying to open up the trash. Got that. And then you have rosemary sprigs if you can buy them at the grocery store. If you have rosemary in your yard or your neighbors do, just cut off a couple of sprigs. It's not do or die if you don't have these, but just cut a simple hole underneath the skin, and you're just gonna thread them underneath the skin. It doesn't wanna thread very easily. Put 1 in that cavity, and then, I don't know if you can see the knife kind of poking in here and making a little hole. to thread the rosemary through. Doesn't want to thread, which is not the end of the world, but it does give it a wonderful flavor while it's cooking. So I just put one in the front, one in the back. I don't know what it is about it that's not wanting to do it. That, and I probably have a very dull knife, but make your cuts. Poke the rosemary in. And part of that is it gives it great flavor, and the smell is fantastic when it starts to cook. So you've got rosemary in the cavity, 2 pieces poked in the skin, and your mix with your pepper, your oil, your salt, and your garlic is all on there, and it's ready to go. And then lastly, we're gonna add the wine, but I'm gonna rinse my hands off one more time really well before I touch even the bottle of wine. I'm kind of a little bit of a nut when it comes to making sure I don't spread any of the raw chicken germs around the kitchen. So I always like, and I like to use a paper towel too, because they say if you wipe it on a hand towel, there's a chance you can wipe off some of that bacteria onto the hand towel. Okay, then I take my bottle of wine. Ends are a little wet, but at least they're clean. Gonna open that with my twister. Sorry, I had to get a twister. I'm just gonna take this wine, which is equal to about half cup of wine. Any red wine will do. If you have a favorite, choose it. Not a big wine drinker. And I poured around the chicken and just a little on the top, because if you pour a lot on the top, you're just gonna wash that paste right off. And then I pour some in the cavity. And that's your chicken. You're gonna put this in the oven, bake it for 30 minutes at 450. And then once it hits the 30 minutes, you're gonna change the temperature to 350 for another hour. So you have, it's about an hour and a half to cook the whole thing, and the house will smell fabulous. You can also, I've gotta pick up the potatoes, need a knife. You can also throw some things in the pan with the chicken if you want, which makes it really easy. Tonight I'm gonna throw some red potatoes in there. I bought a couple of red potatoes. And remember, because you're cooking potatoes, you always want to knife them so that they don't explode, because they don't cook if you don't do that. Drop a couple of those in the backside. They can cook and get a little bit of flavor. You can throw carrots in there too, and that way it's all cooking and you don't have anything extra to do. And it makes an easy, good meal for everybody. And that's Jim's favorite chicken. Like I said, it's easy. It does take a while to bake. You have to account for that hour and a half time, and then you can throw whatever you want in there. Voila! Any questions, just ask.